Hamburger potato soup is what's for dinner, and today I'm going to show you how to make it in your crock pot. Hi, I'm Carrie with eatingonadime.com. We're on a mission to help families eat well on a budget. This recipe does just that. I love this recipe because it's a great way to stretch your protein in a soup. Now you can find the full recipe linked in the description below, or you can just go to Google and type in "Eating on a Dime hamburger potato soup" and it's going to pull right up for you. Now today I am using my fancy schmancy crock pot, but you don't have to have a fancy schmancy crock pot. Now I do have all my slow cookers, all the reviews that I think if you do need one, I have that linked below as well. Sorry, I can't talk apparently today. But the thing I love about this is I can actually brown my meat in the crock pot, and since we got to do some browning, I'm going to use it today. But remember, if you can't, or you don't, if you just have a traditional one, just head to your skillet and you can brown up your beef. One more thing before we get started. It's Crocktober, so we're doing crockpot recipes all month long. And if you haven't snagged your Crocktober digital cookbook yet, I want you to grab it below at a steep discount. So the link is in the description as well. Plus, there's a free email signups to where you can get 31 crockpot recipes in your email as well. Okay, so now it's time to get cooking. First, we're going to start with 1 pound of lean ground beef that we're going to brown. I'm browning it right inside my crock pot because it has a saute features, but if yours doesn't, just use a skillet. I also love this meat chopper because it separates the meat, and I have that linked for you in our tools section in the description as well. It's so great to get that crumbly meat that we need for a soup. While this is browning, we're going to go ahead and chop up an onion. So you need 1 onion for this recipe. This onion is really big, so I'm just going to do a half, but you do you. And instead of me chopping it up, I'm actually going to use my chopper because it just makes life so much easier when you're cutting onions. So if you have a chopper like this, if you don't, I do have that linked in our tools, my favorite kitchen tools, kitchen gadgets section as well. But here you go. I just wanted to show you how easy it is to use. So I'm going to cut up, I just cut them in half and I cut them in quarters again. And the reason I do that is because then I push them in here sideways, so that way we get nice short chops instead of like longer pieces. And look at that, half an onion already chopped up in seconds. I'm going to dump this in. But since I have my onion out and this is already dirty, which by the way, it's dishwasher safe, hello, I'm going to actually chop up the other half. Ooh, still getting emotional over here because I like to freeze my chopped onions. So I'm going to chop these up and throw them in a freezer bag. So that way the next time I have a recipe, I just have to throw them in the crock pot and I don't even have to think about it. And if you're curious, like how much do I use? If they say 1 onion, I just eyeball it when it's frozen. I just pull it out and sprinkle some in until I like it. Done. But it's a great way. I mean, look at that, minutes. And it's the same amount of work. And now I have this frozen for the next time I need a half an onion. Okay, so I'm gonna move that to the side and clean up my mess. Next up, we need about 1 pound of russet potatoes. It comes to about 3. I weighed mine out on my digital scale, which is actually linked in my kitchen tools as well. But it's like I'm a broken record over here, but you can always find it. But then we're gonna peel them and dice them up. Now I feel like I've given y'all all my tips already, but in case you haven't seen my videos, the fastest way to peel a potato is to just focus on the middle part first and putting your fingers on the sides. That way you're nice and sturdy and you're not gonna accidentally peel a finger. And then once you get that done, go around the ends because you have a good grip on the potato. It seems silly, I know, but I feel like it's helpful if you've never peeled a potato before, or if you struggle and you think it's super annoying. So hopefully that helps. And now it's time to cut the potatoes. We want to cut them into dices. Remember that we want them to fit on a spoon. Oh, my potato's stuck to my knife. Then we're going to, what I do is I cut it lengthwise Then lengthwise again. Sorry, that's my puppy. He wants a bite. Then we're going to cut it in strips again, like French fries. That way they're in sticks. Then you just turn it sideways and you run your knife through it and you have these beautiful little pieces of diced up potatoes. And sorry about my cranky old puppy. Then we're going to add all the potatoes to the crock pot. For the seasonings, we're going to add minced garlic. You can mince your own garlic or you can just use pre-minced like I did. We need salt and pepper and a teaspoon of oregano and a teaspoon of basil. My jars are also linked in my favorite kitchen gadgets. I love these seasoning jars. The wide mouth. Ooh, they're just the perfect height. Then we need to add 1 cup of milk and 2 cups of beef broth. Next, we're going to add 1 can of diced tomatoes. Just the regular diced tomatoes. Leave the juices in there. 1 can of cheddar cheese soup. If you don't want to use this or you can't find it, you can also just add some Velveeta. You can add more cheese at the end. If you go to the recipe, we give you lots of tips and tricks for that as well. And we're gonna spoon this in and then give it a quick stir. We're just going to stir to combine all these ingredients. You don't have to stir it completely because as it cooks, everything will melt and come together, but it already smells so good. Isn't that crazy? Then we're going to add the lid and we're going to slow cook this on low for 6 to 8 hours or high for 3 to 4 hours. Now this is your basic recipe, but if you want to throw in more veggies, nobody is stopping you. You could throw in peas and carrots, you can throw in frozen green beans. Those would all be delicious. And in fact, if you do that, make sure you leave a comment and let me know what you try. Okay, we got to let this cook and I'll be back. Okay, now it's been cooking for several hours and for the last 30 minutes before you're ready to serve, we're going to pour in 1 cup of heavy cream and 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Now, I really like to use cheese that I have hand shredded because it melts evenly, but if you can't and you just have the pre-shredded kind, that will work too. Now we're just going to give this a quick stir so that way that heavy cream can heat up and that cheese can melt. But look how delicious this soup already looks. Now that all that's left is to add the lid and we're going to let this heat through and melt and it's ready to serve. I'll see you in a few minutes. She's ready. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. Don't you just love it that you come home from work and dinner just waiting on you? Just throw this in before you head to work and you don't have to worry about it. Oh, I love it. It looks so good. Woo! I'm so pumped to try one more. Try a bite of this. It smells delicious and it's just comfort food all over. I'm so ready to dive in. Now you can just serve it as is. You can top it with anything you'd like, from cheddar cheese to sour cream to green onions, but I'm just going to try it. I'm just going to eat it as is today because it's delicious. Look how hot it looks when you see the steam. Smells so good. Oh yeah, that's so good. 2 thumbs up. I act like I haven't tried it before. It's so good. It surprises me every single time. I just love my crock pot that you can just throw stuff in there and it comes out tasting amazing. It's so simple to make, guys. I hope you loved today's recipe. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe because I don't want you to miss any more of our family-friendly recipes. We're on a mission to help you save money and eat well at home, and all month long we're doing a crock pot recipe. So if you haven't grabbed our Crocktober digital cookbook yet, make sure you get that in the description below, and you can find today's recipe down there as well. Okay, friends, I'm out of here. I can't wait to share another delicious recipe with you tomorrow. Okay, I have to have another bite. Let me know in the comments below if you are loving these Crock-Pot recipes and if you want to keep seeing more all year long. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you next time for another delicious recipe in my kitchen. Bye, friends. Thumbs up.